Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over a new article by Axios which talks about President Trump and the White House trying to primary out Republican Representative Thomas Massie. So President Trump's political operation has been fielding calls from Republicans interested in waging a primary challenge to Kentucky Representative Thomas Massie, according to a person familiar with the talks. The conversations are evidence that Trump and his $500 million political apparatus is actively entertaining the best way to back a primary opponent against Massie, who has drawn Trump's ire for voting against his, quote, one big beautiful bill that at the time of recording this video is currently in Congress. Massie is about to be in the fight for his life, said Kentucky-based GOP strategist Jake Cox, saying, quote, just wait until he sees the money of a Trump-backed candidate can raise simply from the president saying their name into a camera or opening up his email list. Two possible primary challengers being mentioned in the Kentucky Republican circles are State Senator Aaron Reed and State Representative Kimberly Moser. A statewide Kentucky GOP official tells Axios Massie has had weak primary opponents in previous cycles and made mincemeat of them, but I think this time is going to be different. Supporting Trump is the number one and sometimes the only issue in GOP primaries at the moment. Trump has privately wondered what the point is of having a Republican in Massie's seat if they're going to, quote, vote with the Democrats and trash Republicans all the time. Trump's anger boiled over on last Tuesday, when he told reporters in the Capitol that the congressman should be, quote, voted out of office. The president's political lieutenants piled on. Some guys just prefer to be in the minority, White House Deputy Chief of Staff James Blair said of Massie on X. When asked during a Thursday briefing whether Trump believed as well as Representative Warren Davidson of Ohio, who also voted no, should be primaried, the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt responded, I believe he does, and I believe he does not like to see grandstanders in Congress. The background of this, apparently Massie and Trump have clashed for years, however. In 2019, Massie joined with House Democrats in opposing Trump's declaration of a national emergency at the southern border. After Massie opposed a COVID relief package in 2020, Trump called on the congressman to be thrown out of the Republican Party. Massie was one of 6 House Republicans to endorse Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over Trump during the 2024 Republican presidential primary. After Massie opposed a Trump-backed government spending bill in March, Trump wrote on Truth Social that the congressman was, quote, a grandstander. During the transition, Trump privately asked DeSantis for advice on how to deal with Massie. Give him raw milk, DeSantis said, referring to one of Massie's legislative priorities, according to a person briefed on the conversation. On the other side, Massie told Axios he was skeptical of Trump allies would find a strong candidate to run against him. Massie noted he had easily fended off primary challenges in the last 3 elections and said his private polling showed him popular in his conservative central Kentucky district. If somebody got in this race and they're a reasonable person, not crazy to run against me, I would call them up and say, you know what you should do before you dedicate the next year and a half of your life to getting your beep kicked? You should do a poll, Massie said. Massie also said Trump's attacks on him were helping him fundraise, pointing out he had raised $47,000 this week and had a series of donors lined up event in California next week. The congressman's allies say his independent streak endears him to voters. Massie said he spoke to Trump a few weeks before the election and a few weeks after, but not since. After Massie's wife died in June of 2024, Trump left him a voicemail expressing his condolences, Massie said. During the call after the election, Massie told Trump he'd be interested in serving as Agriculture Secretary, an idea Trump passed on. Massie said, quote, I would have taken it. So this is very interesting. Thomas Massie represents Kentucky's 4th Congressional District, is a Republican district. It's on the northeastern part of the state alongside the Ohio River and includes the suburbs of Cincinnati and eastern suburbs of Louisville. The incumbent representative, as the article mentioned, is Republican Thomas Massie, who was reelected unopposed in 2024. As the article mentioned, on March 11, 2025, President Trump condemned Massie for opposing the full-year Continuing Appropriations and Extensions Act of 2025 and remarked that the great people of Kentucky are going to be watching a very interesting primary in the not-too-distant future. Right now, Nikki Ethington, a registered nurse, is running against Massie. 2 other Republicans, Kimberly Moser and Aaron Reed, are the other Republicans mentioned in the article. Massie currently has about $1.2 million cash on hand. 3 Democrats are currently running, but all the rankings for this district have it as solid Republican or safe Republican. It's really not too much of a surprise. Thomas Massie represents this district right here, Kentucky 4, which according to the most recent Cook PVI is listed at Republican plus 18. So this district based on its Cook PVI rating, is a safe Republican district. So regardless of the Republican who wins this primary, it's going to be a safe Republican state at the general election. As for 2024, this district, obviously Massie did not face a primary opponent, so he won with 100% of the vote. In 2022, the last time there was a Democrat running and a third-party candidate running, Massie won by 34 points over the Democrat and the Independent. And in 2020, Massie won by about 34.2%. 2018, Massie won by 27.7%. In 2016, I'll stop here, Massie won by 42.6%. So Massie has continued to win this district in Kentucky by safe Republican margins, and if he would be the nominee again in 2026, that's likely going to happen again. But this time around, he's gotten the ire of President Trump, and President Trump sounds to be very frustrated with Massie and is trying to make a run at primarying him out in the Republican primary. The question will be, can Trump actually do it? We're seeing in Texas right now, Senator John Cornyn facing a tough primary challenge from Republican Ken Paxton, and a large reason being is Ken Paxton is making the argument that he's the true MAGA Trump loyalist, whereas John Cornyn is a rhino. Here in this situation, I think it's something similar. Whoever the Republican that ends up running, if they are getting Donald Trump's endorsement, will make the argument they're the pro-Trump Republican. Thomas Massie is a rhino. Primarying out a incumbent Republican or even incumbent U.S. representative or senator is very tough, but it can be done. Can Trump actually primary out Thomas Massie? We're going to have to wait and see. Does one of these two Republicans, in Kimberly Mosier or Aaron Reed, actually run for this district? That remains to be seen, but if they do, at very least with the backing of President Trump, it would be a very formidable challenge. Thomas Massie is, however, a longtime representative of Kentucky, first getting elected back in 2012. So by 2026, he would have been in office for about 14 years. So the people of his district likely know him, and if they like him, even though President Trump says to get rid of him, if they've been voting for him for a long time and they like him, there's a good chance he'll probably remain the representative of this district. But again, this is an interesting situation to monitor, because if President Trump can successfully primary him, well, one thing could say for 2026 is if the Republicans do hold on and win the House, that would give the Republicans potentially one less Republican vote that's been breaking with President Trump's agenda a lot recently. Maybe that gives the Republicans one more firm vote for every bill they have. But it's also worth noting the Republicans currently have a 5-seat majority in the U.S. House, and it's possible come 2026 that majority may be even smaller, or the Democrats may even have the majority. So primarying out Republicans when you have a lot of districts to defend is often a risky move, but it could be something that President Trump is so frustrated with that he believes he needs to do. But I think this is very interesting and a very interesting situation to monitor. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about this news and about this move by Trump and Massie. Who do you agree with more in the situation with Trump or Massie? If you're a Republican or a Republican from Kentucky, who do you side with more on this? Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to hit like and subscribe, and hope to see you in a future video.